is now certain, and from the horse itself, or rather from the mouth of the horse, that Raila Odinga is going to announce that he's running for President of the Republic of Kenya come 2022. He says he's doing that at the end of this month. Of course, with a rider that if people will have registered in numbers convince him. But certainly, therefore, Raila Odinga is standing. The question I'm asking today is, what are Raila Odinga's chances? Excuse me, there's a better way of asking this question. Is there anybody in this country who can beat Raila Odinga in a clear, safe, straightforward, fair election? That should be the question. That is there a man or woman who can face Raila and beat him in an election in this country? A free and fair election? The answer is, in my view, no. You have to look at the Raila I'm talking about. Can somebody beat the Raila who was able to go beyond the stigma and become the Raila of 2007? Is there anybody who can face the Raila who had obstacles placed in his way, not just by government, not just by deep state, obstacles placed in the way of Raila Odinga came from inside and outside the country? The Raila that was feared by more than even Jaramogi's father. Is there anybody who can beat that Raila? Is there anybody who can beat the Raila who gave government sleepless nights? Is there anybody who can beat the Raila who could declare a public holiday? Is there a person in this country who can stand against Raila Amolo Odinga? The man feared by Western powers, the same Western powers planting the fear into the government of Kenya to harass Raila. The Raila who, despite all those obstacles placed in his way, all the boulders, all the vesiculas he would put it, placed in his way, was able to emerge victorious, as some of us believe, in 2007. That with all the obstacles placed in his way, he almost pushed Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013 into a rerun, had it not been for the 8,000 votes that Kethi Kilonzo persecuted so well, but which the court ignored. Is there anybody today in this country who can beat Raila Amolo Odinga, that despite all the games played against him in 2017, he got where he got, and the Supreme Court said what it said? Is there anybody you can compare to Raila Amolo Odinga, the person who more or less put the country at a standstill in 2017 going into 2018? Is there anybody who can tell me that Uhuru Kenyatta went into a handshake with Raila Odinga because he just liked him? The president himself has said the country was going in the wrong direction. The heat that Raila had generated in this country was unbearable. So when I ask these questions, they are not empty questions. Yes, Raila Odinga has declared that he's running. And if I look at the Raila Odinga who is running, I am more than convinced, and I'm sure so are many Kenyans, that this Raila Odinga, having gotten the far he has gotten, despite the obstacles, despite the many serious obstacles he faced throughout life, the unbroken spirit of Raila Odinga, years of harassment from the state, harassment to himself and to family, years of persecution and prosecution and detention, that Raila emerges still strong enough. I'm not convinced that kind of Raila can be beaten by a man today or a woman today in this country. I'm looking at the Raila Odinga who has a forgiving heart, with the resilience. Recently we saw him with Moses Kuria in hospital. How many of these other politicians, having been attacked by Moses Kuria, Moses Kuria having said the things he said about Raila, despite what Raila is said to have done for Moses Kuria. How many would have the big heart of Raila Odinga to go and visit Moses Kuria? How many people will have the big heart and the broad shoulders of Raila to ignore or forgive people like Isaac Mwaura? And many I don't even want to mention. People he single-handedly raised, but who, drinking from the cup of tribalism, have deserted him and said things about him. But the man soldiers on, strong. Let me finish with a tweet I read by somebody, I've forgotten his name. He said, how Rao was able to emerge, I'm paraphrasing, to emerge from the collapse of BBI to come up with Azimio La Umoja baffles me. I can't remember that person who said it. I wish I had remembered the name. That is the kind of man we are talking about. In 2017, after Raila lost elections, an international media house interviewed me. And they told me, don't you agree with us that this marks the end of Raila Odinga? I said, on the surface of it, yes. But I will not write off Raila Odinga so long as he's still walking on this earth. I was later be proved right when on the 9th of March, he emerged and entered into a handshake with the President Uhuru Kenyatta. And immediately the country changed. It became calm, it became peaceful, and Raila's profile went up. Today, when you look at Raila Odinga, if you want to know what I'm saying right, just look at Raila Odinga. Look at how presidential he looks. Look at how harassed the people from the other corner are beginning to appear. That is Raila Odinga I'm saying. A sane person looking at Kenyan politics should agree that the Raila who has gone through what he has gone through and emerged strong, resilient, victorious in some instances, that Raila is not a Raila, you can convince me, that can be beaten by somebody in a clean and straight election. So that, what I'm trying to say, that much as help from Uhuru Kenyatta and the system is good, all that Raila Odinga needs is a free and fair election. A clear field. In that clear field, I have a problem seeing anybody beating Raila Odinga. In that clear field, I have a problem looking at somebody and seeing in them a competitor for Raila Odinga. Leave alone somebody to beat him, a competitor. And in the fullness of time, my cliche statement, in the fullness of time, around March, February, next year, things will be so clear. And that brings me, as I wind up, to my friends, colleagues, and leaders in this country I respect so much. One Kenya Alliance. This must be my final appeal to you. My final appeal. If you saw what happened at Safari Park Hotel, when you went to meet the Mount Kenya Foundation, compared to what happened when Raila was there, I've said this repeatedly. Your journey with Raila is the surest bet. As Gideon Moy would put it, it's a sure deal, sure bet. Your journey with this gentleman, a journey to Canaan, via Sinai, across the Jordan River, is the only way you'll be relevant in Kenyan politics. I leave it to you. Salem Davadi, Moses Wetangula, Gideon Kipsiele Moy, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Your relevance will depend on the decisions you make today.
The Diaspora Times e-print paper is a sure way to reach the diaspora. You can advertise and interact with those in the diaspora. We partner with major real estate companies like Optivan, Certified Homes, and the giant Centum Real Estate Company. Get ahead with the Diaspora News. You can read the Diaspora Times every single Friday. For more information, call 404-966-8550.
And the decision to work with the victor will be a good decision for you and to country and to your communities, because then you remain relevant. That I give you for free.